Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
What is going on, guys? And thank you for tuning in. This episode, we are going to give you the secret ingredient to how you are going to skyrocket your results, your performance, and all things health and fitness related. So we hope that you enjoy it, and let's get right into it.
No, you blow.
All right, 3, 2, 1. We in it, folks.
Hey, everybody. It's me again, because you heard me last week.
Wow. We are hitting the final pre-recorded episode.
Before we come back to being more live.
More live-ish.
Like liver than we are now.
So we are on our final week of our Aussie trip. So we're recording this almost a month in advance, and literally we're leaving tomorrow, my love. We're about to hop on this plane and go. But I don't want to discuss this as the banter topic. What I do want to discuss is now we've had 3 episodes drop before this one comes out.
Yep.
We talked about the Open in the first one.
Did we?
Which hopefully encouraged a lot of you guys to sign up or even reconsider the possibility that signing up is something that you should do rather than just having a fixed mindset that you're not fit enough to do this or I'm not ready to do this. So hopefully that kind of inspired you a little bit, gave you a little bit of knowledge, and hopefully gave you a reason behind the why we all should be doing the CrossFit Open. And then after that, I had a lovely recorded episode with Coach V.
I really enjoyed editing that episode.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was fun to sit down. And those discussions are pretty cool because you kind of have like an overarching topic. And then you just probe or at least I just probed the person as the interviewer just to get them to talk and just ask them questions. And so many people are just nervous to get on the podcast.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. We were nervous when we started the podcast. Putting a microphone right in front of your face or putting a camera even, like when I remember when we started YouTube and it was like 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God.
Click the record button.
Cringy.
And it's so weird. You just completely, your brain doesn't work. You completely don't know how to talk or look or act anymore. So
I'm getting secondhand embarrassment for myself thinking about that first YouTube video that we made.
So bad.
I can't believe we put that online for like other people to watch.
Yeah. Crazy. We should make a montage video of all the progressions of our social media content.
I feel like we should go back and listen to like our first podcast. I bet it's so cringe also.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, so Vanessa was awesome. Hopefully you guys got inspired by her. She is someone that I really look up to and thoroughly enjoy having on our team. And then last week's episode was I believe, if I'm not mistaken, potentially the 95th episode that was released by the CrossFit Max podcast. And it was the first episode that I was not a part of.
It was so weird for me because I realized when we were recording that episode how much you direct the conversation.
Okay.
And even just like when we started, I was like, what's up, everybody? Fuck, it's me. I have to do the intro. And like I got like so in my head about it because I realized that I really let you take the lead usually with these podcast episodes, and then all of a sudden Sasha was just like looking at me and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll be leading now. But I feel like we ended up having a super natural, just beautiful conversation. My biggest regret was just not telling her to sit closer to the microphone, so I'm sorry the volume wasn't amazing on the last episode.
It's
but
tough. We have this conversation
it's
with
hard.
Everyone, and you guys, we don't have a visual for the podcast, and people ask us all the time like, why don't you guys have a visual? Because a visual you have to have more than just one camera. You have to have multiple cameras. The editing becomes far more work. We try to do this as simple
low friction.
and low friction as possible, because if we had to do all these extra things, even like the editing process, we have to re-listen to all this. And by say we, I mean Susie has to re-listen to all of it. take out some little chunks here and there if we have interruptions. Like, for example, when I had Coach Vanessa on the podcast, there was some people coming to look. There was like this leak issue that was happening with the gym, and I told them I wasn't available, and they ended up coming all the way up to the podcast studio, knocking on the door. Like, that's a huge interruption for a video piece as well, you know? So we always tell the people, hey, these guests, hey, make sure you're like, stay really close to the mic. And it's just, you don't realize how close the microphone actually has to be to your face when you're podcasting. So, but shout out to Vanessa and shout out to Sasha and all the other guests who have come onto the podcast.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking coming on a podcast, I think, especially if you're not somebody who's already like active on social media and you're not used to being recorded in any way. So I feel like my chat with Sasha was so awesome, and I was proud of myself for my interview skills, and I was proud of her for her openness, but I am aware that the audio wasn't the best, so
that's all right.
We live and we learn.
I actually haven't even listened to it yet. I'm looking forward to hearing it. I only
we both cried.
Oh, nice. Good tears?
Yeah, about how much we love CrossFit Max.
Oh, nice. That's cute. Yeah, I'm really looking forward. I mean, I haven't even heard Vanessa's episode yet, so I want to go back and hear that. But I'm excited. Hopefully you guys have listened to it. If you haven't, you got to go back and check them out.
Yeah.
2 very wonderful women that are a part of our life that we're very lucky to have in our life. And they came on the podcast and did it. Yeah.
So cool.
And then
I love a yes person.
Yeah. Sasha didn't even, actually both of them didn't. Vanessa was like, yeah, it's out of my comfort zone, but let's do it. And then Sasha,
I honestly thought I was going to have to fight her a little bit more, like encourage her, be like, come on, do it. Yeah. And I suggest
all the cool kids are doing it.
I suggested it to her and she was like, okay. And I was like, yay. Okay. I was like, I had all my arguments prepared on what I was going to say to encourage her to do it. And I didn't even need them. She was like, I'm super nervous, but I'm really down. So cool. That was fun.
At the end of the day, we're just saying random shit, you know, telling our own stories into a microphone. But I feel like
it's fun because we're getting like the perspective of all the different walks of life of different people that come to our gym. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's an overarching shared experience of just CrossFit Max really changing their lives. Mm-hmm. And so it's so fun because all these people have like vastly different careers. You know, we had a pilot, we have mothers, we have high level executives, we have teachers, we have occupational therapists. Like we have all these different types of people coming to our gym, and you know, at the end of the day, a lot of them are saying a lot of the same things. So it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
And we didn't hire these actors, okay? They're real people.
Yeah, and also on that note, I posted a story yesterday that we've reached people on like a global level through this podcast.
Yeah, like, hey, Kevin from Belgium, we know you're listening, so that's cool.
Yeah, we had a listener from Belgium reach out to us about
9 months
ago, saying that because he listened to our podcast, he went to go do CrossFit and he's been doing it for 3 months and stuff like that. And then anyways, when we released the open episode, we talked about...
we haven't released the open episode yet.
Well, they have heard it by the time that we released this episode. We talked about the t-shirts,
the
drop-ins, right? So they've heard it by now. And we talked about the old school way is if you want to go do a drop-in at a CrossFit gym, you could buy a t-shirt rather than paying a drop-in fee. And not a lot of CrossFit gyms still do that, big touristy gyms. And actually, Tom, when he came in, we talked about this during the punishment one, not the open one. Sorry,
I knew that, but I just didn't want to overcorrect you a second time in this episode. So I was just going to let it slide. And tell you later that I was right.
So Tom came in and he said that many gyms and he's a pilot and he's gone to many, many gyms, and that hasn't been the case. A lot of CrossFit gyms don't allow the drop-in fee for a t-shirt. But that's also because Tom's a pilot and he's going to very touristy places like Las Vegas, for example.
Right, and if they did that, then they would just be like printing merch all day, every day.
Exactly, yeah.
Got it.
The profit is much less, so.
Right.
So, yeah, anyways, our good friend, Kevin from Belgium.
By good friend, you mean person we know from online.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Reached out to us, and it was interesting. He said like his gym in CrossFit Strive Belgium. That's what it's called.
Shout out.
Offers to buy a t-shirt for a drop-in. And he also invited us. If ever we're in the Belgium area, we got to go do a drop-in.
Look it up.
Or if any of our CrossFit Max listeners are in the Belgium area, go check out CrossFit Strive Belgium, and you guys can go get a cool t-shirt. Hopefully you guys could reach out to Kevin here and let him know.
Make a friend. And now he's been doing CrossFit for a year now, right?
So he's been doing CrossFit for a year, and he I asked him like what his biggest highlights were, and he just said the most incredible answers ever. And I hope he doesn't mind me sharing these. I actually didn't ask him, but I'm going to share them anyways.
Sorry.
Yeah. So the first thing I asked him, like his big highlights, and he said, here's what comes to his mind. The first one was starting CrossFit has been like coming back to my body. The gymnastic part has always allowed me to reconnect with a passion I had as a teenager. He was saying that gymnastics, it was something that he did when he was younger,
right?
And he kind of stopped doing it because
Very
it wasn't like part of the norm for a teenage boy to be doing that type of thing back then. So he's really enjoying that. The other, number 2, he said another highlight has been sharing this new passion with my sons, which is so cool, especially because I have a son, or we have a son. But I think from a father's perspective, I think it's something that I really, really hope I'll be getting to do with Thomas when I'm older. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's a stereotypical man thing, but you hope that you're going to be coaching your boy's team and you're playing sports with them growing up and stuff.
Or going to their cello practices, whatever. Do what you want, Tommy. We love you no matter what, but please do CrossFit.
Yeah. So he's like seeing them getting excited about CrossFit and working out together has created wonderful and funny moments. They now participate in the weekly teens class. It's amazing to watch them develop their own enthusiasm for it. So that's really, really cool. And then the third thing, which kind of hit home really, really hard, and I think it's something that we discuss often about on the podcast. He said, third, I would say that upgrading my membership from 2 classes a week to 3, and then finally going to unlimited has been a rewarding journey. Consistently working out 5 times a week has made a huge difference in my physical strength and overall fitness. And then he continued to say that there's been so many, good moments throughout the year and PRs and stuff. But those are kind of like the 3 things that kind of stood out the most for him. So
if we could like textbook make an answer for questions, that's what we would put.
Yeah. And these are, this is crazy. This is someone who lives
across the world,
halfway across the world from us. Like, it's so cool. And I shared that story that we have, 10 to 11,000 downloads of our podcast in North America, but then we have over 2,000 in Europe, we have some in Asia, we have some in the Oceanic region, we have some in Africa, we have some in South America. That shit is wild. And if you're listening across the world,
please reach out to us.
Yeah, please reach out
and then we'll share about everything you tell us on the podcast episode without asking for your consent first.
So yeah, it's freaking cool. And our podcast has come a long way, and we've had some pretty remarkable guests. I think I would like in 2025 to have a little bit more guests. I know this is something that we really appreciate doing together.
Are you kicking me out of the podcast?
No, I think quite the opposite. I think I'm going to take myself out of the podcast and let you continue doing some interviews.
I'll let you hear my interview with Sasha first before you subscribe to that too intensely. It was definitely casual.
2025 wraps up. 1 year later, Susie has not done a single episode, just her and a client. No, but what I'm saying is I would love for you guys to be able to hear
from other people
in our community.
I do think that is very cool.
Yeah. There's also the thought of maybe doing recorded from, maybe Kevin from across the world, maybe other people through Zoom and everything. I just know that there's a lot of amazing stories from people inside the gym. It's just a matter of scheduling it and trying to figure it out. I think
forcing them to get over their fear of coming on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I know it can be intimidating.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah, there's so many remarkable stories, but we got to share them. 2025 podcast is going to grow, and we'll hopefully have some really cool guests on. Yeah.
Sick.
So hopefully you guys have enjoyed those. Today, we were talking... Oh, before, Susie said that you just I take the lead on the podcast episodes, which is very ironic because I told Susie I know what the topic of today is, and she has no idea what the
literally
topic
no
of
idea.
is.
And then he goes, "Do you want me to tell you before we start?" And I was like, "Nah, surprise me."
So yes, I have an interesting topic today. And
no.
I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on this.
And then the episode cuts here.
And
I'm just kidding.
It might shock a few people.
Oh, no.
Because we are going to talk about the number one most important thing that you should be doing in CrossFit. And probably, in my opinion, I value this extremely high, and one of the most important things that I try to do in everything I do, not just in CrossFit, but in life. And that's, for CrossFit, we'll keep it here, and that's not how much you back squat, that's not how fast you run, that's not your score for the AMRAP. What I care about the most from an athlete, and the number one thing that everyone and anyone should be doing inside the gym, is focusing on effort. And effort could mean a lot of different things, right? But what I mean by that is you come in with the mindset of, I'm going to give it a good effort for what I have for today. That doesn't mean that I have to go heavier than I did last week. That doesn't mean I have to go faster than what I did yesterday. That doesn't mean that I have to perform as best as I can. That doesn't mean that I have to do the RX that is on the board and that I cannot scale the workout. It means that you come in with the attitude and the mindset of whatever is presented to me, I'm going to give my best effort for today. And I think that's super, super important, because sometimes we get fixated on like, oh, like this is the workout. Should I even go and do the workout for today? Should I, am I going to even be able to lift, or there are movements that I'm not familiar with and I'm not sure that I can even do that. Right. And something that I'm really noticing, especially at the start of this year, is that a lot of athletes are coming in and just being like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, whatever the workout is, like, I'm just going to give it my best effort.
Okay.
I'm going to approach this workout with some sort of pacing. I'm going to come in here and have some sort of plan. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to learn, and I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to give it my best effort. So when I say that to you, Susie, comes to mind from maybe an athlete's perspective, because you come in every day with a pretty good effort, and then we'll talk about the coaching after. But from
what do you mean pretty good?
From an athletic standpoint, what does that mean for you when I say that effort is the most important thing?
I think it, to me, sounds like it doesn't mean that you need to send it every day, but it means that you need to like approach your training, whether it's a lift or a cardio piece or Metcon or whatever it is, approach it with the mindset of like caring. So instead of being like, oh, like whatever, I'm just going to squat whatever because I don't feel like it today. You know, maybe it's not your day, or you're super fatigued, or you're sore. And so maybe it's not a day where you're going to actually squat the heaviest sets of 5. But instead you approach it with, well, this is what my body has today, and I care to try, because for me, showing up, like I want to show up fully in whatever capability I have to give today. So, you know, that just means like being mindful about approaching the workout in a way that is following the instructions from the coach. So if coach says, you know, the goal today is to be challenged for your 4 sets of front squats, let's just use today as an example. You know, Coach Amanda gave us some great instructions at the beginning of class. She said all of the sets should be challenging. So showing up with good effort is making sure that all of my sets are challenging, even if that number doesn't maybe numerically represent my best effort or my best ever lift. I shouldn't have used the word effort there because that's confusing, but like maybe like the numbers don't like represent like a personal best.
Yeah.
But
the mindset is not to come in and PR every time.
No, it's to follow the instructions carefully and show that you care, and bring a positive energy of like trying your best.
Yeah.
Whatever the best is for that day.
Yeah.
That would be my approach.
I'd also say that it also means pushing the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe you're not having the best physical day because you're on day 5 in a row
Right.
of training,
Yeah.
right? Because maybe you have to take the next 2 days off. So you push it, you do 5 consecutive days, you're on day 5, energy levels are a little low. Maybe you had to work late last night and you made the time to wake up this morning to get your last training session in before you have to take the next 2 days off, right? So maybe you're not squatting heavier, and probably you're not squatting heavier than what you did last week, right? Like, for example, okay, maybe last week on your 4 sets of 5 front squats, you did 100, 110, 120, 130. All right, easy numbers here. Easy numbers, I mean math numbers, right? And then this week, instead of, trying to get heavier than 130, excuse me, then maybe what you're going to do is you're just going to do 4 sets at 120, right? And those sets are going to feel really, really hard.
Right.
The first couple sets are going to feel harder, but the last sets might feel not as hard as you finished last week. Does that mean that you did a bad effort because you did 10 pounds less on your last set? Absolutely not. You went heavier on the first set. You went heavier on the second set. You did the same on the third set. And then the fourth set,
you maintained it.
You did a little bit lower than what you did last week, but the overall tonnage that you lifted was actually heavier. Right?
Yeah.
So effort comes in different ways and stuff, but you're looking at it like, okay, like I'm just going to give it my best effort for today. I'm going to encourage the people around me to be lifting heavy. Some people are on only their first or second day in a row after a rest day.
Yeah, so their effort's going to look different.
Their effort's going to look different, right? So we're starting to get to this point in the CrossFit Max lifespan where now we have people pretty consistently been coming to the gym now for over a year. Some people now over 2 years,
yeah.
right? And then there's this mindset that you get in at the beginning where when you start your CrossFit journey, we always talk about this, where everything just, if you're consistent, just skyrockets. PR this, PR that, PR every week. New PR. I did heavier this week, heavier the next week, heavier the week after. You're like, man, I'm just freaking crushing it. I'm hitting PRs constantly, right? And then it gets to a point where you're like, oh, I didn't PR this week.
Yeah, because you get really good.
Am I bad right now?
And it's hard to go from really good to really, really, really good. We talked about that a little bit with Sasha last week.
Oh, cool. So this effort is far different. The beginning sets have to be a little bit harder, or even pacing, right? If you're doing a Metcon and you're learning, okay, I didn't sleep that great last night. My kid or my kiddos kept me up. One of them has been a little sick, so I had to wake up a couple times throughout the night.
Oy.
All right, well, maybe my effort of just coming to the gym and giving, coming in with a good attitude, encouraging the people around me, putting my head down and just trying to give it the effort that I can.
Yeah.
That's going to be my effort. That's going to be a really good effort for today for me.
Yeah, I like that. I think I would you could replace saying like giving it a good effort with saying you had a positive approach to your training. Like I feel like those two sentences could mean the same thing. If I was trying to explain this to somebody, it's not necessarily about having a positive outcome on the training, or a positive. You would still have a positive outcome of the training, but it's less about the actual result and more about how you approach the workout, your mindset going into it, how you showed up for the other people in the class, just like general energy and vibe.
Yeah. And then from a coaching perspective, what does that make you feel like when you're coaching?
Well, there's probably nothing I love more than coaching athletes who are giving it a good effort. I think that when you're a coach, you can visually see it very quickly when athletes are dialed in, when they're focused, when they're thinking, when they're coming up with strategy, all of the things that I would correlate with having like a positive attitude, a good approach, a good effort. You know, they're talking amongst their peers, they're helping each other out. They're like, no, you add an extra 2.5, like you definitely got it in the tank. All of those things. That makes me proud as a coach to watch athletes do that. And maybe lift each other up if someone's having maybe less of a fantastic day and they need a little extra boost, you know, watching their peers do that. From a coaching perspective, that makes me super proud. And I mean, on the other side, it can be like frustrating when you're coaching when you know somebody isn't putting that effort. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it happens that often, but it does happen where you see somebody kind of, I don't know, the term we use is sandbagging. Like, you know, they're just like, oh, like, whatever, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, that's not why we're here. Like, we're here to care. We're here to give a shit. We're here to push. So, you know, I always encourage those athletes to stop fixating on the result, because oftentimes they sort of end up in that mindset because they're fixating on the result. And then maybe it's like, oh, I'm never going to get my double unders. And they get frustrated. So then they kind of just give up in a workout. And so from a coaching side, I always encourage people to come up with like small little goals. Like, what is something small that you can work on today? If anything, maybe your goal for today is, I'm not going to let the double unders frustrate me. I'm going to spend 40 seconds on it and then I'm going to move on. And my goal is just to stay in a positive mindset. And then, you know, watching people come out of the negative mindset is definitely the best.
Yeah. I feel like I can relate to a lot of those things. Like the first thing you talked about was it's hard to describe, but you can see when someone is in the zone or is at least trying.
Yes.
You know, you can tell when someone comes in and, you know, just has that
laissez-faire attitude.
Yeah, like just whatever. It is what it is. I'm just here to be here, you know. And sometimes that is a win in itself of just making it to the gym.
Yeah.
And I always say the days that you don't want to work out and you go and work out are some of the best days you're going to get in a training situation. However, when you're feeling those days, like you said, one of the other things you said was it doesn't mean that the result has to be the best. But where you can put your effort is in other things, meaning, okay, today, maybe I'm not going to go as heavy, but man, I'm going to really work hard on making sure the position of my feet is good and I'm bracing my core really, really tight.
Exactly.
And I'm keeping my elbows nice and high on that front squat. And I'm going to work really, really hard in the position of my movement for today.
Right. Like a really good way of having effort and finding effort into your session is like giving yourself something to focus on the day.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to get everything right all the time. But if you come in, so like I'll use myself as an example. Anytime we've had Echo Bike in the last 6 months, I've come in internally, privately in my brain, had the secret goal of whenever I get on the Echo Bike, I'm going to send it.
Yeah, that's great.
And so then maybe on those days, I'm not stressing about which dumbbell weight I'm taking, because for me on that day, my goal is like, I just want to push on the Echo Bike. Like I want to get better on the Echo Bike. I want to see Echo Bike in a workout and be like, fuck yeah, and not fuck, oh no.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly,
So, and then, so you just give yourself like little teeny micro goals for pretty much every session, you know? Today we had front squats. So that was really where my effort focus was for the day. I actually didn't even look at what the Metcon was.
Was it?
No, I love beating Jason in workouts. Of course, I love beating Jason in workouts. It's my favorite pastime. But but you know, I didn't even actually look at the Metcon. I didn't even know what the Metcon was, because for me, I was really like mentally thinking about the front squat.
Yeah, same. And I love that you talked about that, because you know there are many moments that I'm coaching, and before I even start coaching the group, someone will come up to me. Someone will come up to me and be like, hey, like, I'm a little sore today, so I'm not really going to push today. It's like, well, why do you have that mindset going into this group class?
They're
like,
coming in with
okay,
the
maybe,
excuse.
Yeah, maybe you might not go as heavy, or you might not go as hard because you didn't sleep well or this or that. But there's plenty of things that we could be focusing our energy on. Or, hey, like I injured this, or this thing is bothering me, so I'm not really going to go hard today. It's like, well, hold on a second. There's 8 different things that we're going to be doing today, and you can't do maybe 1 or 2 of them because of this injury. Mm-hmm. Well, what about the other 6 things that we're going to have to focus on?
Right. And going hard doesn't have to mean one thing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean that you just freaking send it on every single movement of the whole workout and go balls to the walls.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And, you know, people have come in and be like, hey, I need to replace this because my shoulder or my knee or something. It's like, okay, great. Let's find the thing that you're going to be able to do that's going to be able to give you a good intensity and a good stimulus for you to be able to get a really good workout out of this, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of coming in and be like, well, I'm going to sandbag this workout because of this. And it's like, why not? Why do we have that effort? We haven't even started the 60-minute training session. You haven't even warmed up yet. Let's get our body moving. Let's get our body warmed up. Let's find the appropriate movements for you if you need any sort of modifications. And let's focus on other things. You know, there's so many other things that we could be focusing on. Like you said, the Echo Bike. Okay, well, I'm going to get on the Echo Bike. I'm going to push freaking hard.
Yep.
During that 30-second block. I have a 15-minute conditioning piece to do, and I'm only going to spend about 2.5 minutes on that Echo Bike. But, man, every time I get on that Echo Bike, it's a weakness of mine. I'm going to give it a hard effort right now.
Exactly.
And that's going to be the place of the entire 60-minute session, those little intervals, those 30 to 45-second intervals for like 4 to 5 times out of the entire 60 minutes. That is where I'm going to put a freaking hard effort in.
Exactly. I wonder, like, this is just like I'm thinking out loud, you know, as we do on the pod. I wonder if sometimes the approach when somebody comes in and says, you know, oh, like, I'm not going to try that hard today because I don't feel it or I have this injury. I'm wondering if that is actually coming from a place of fear. So they're like trying to like protect themselves from what they think is going to be judgment from the coach or something.
This is why we're releasing this episode.
I wonder if, you know, I'm trying to think about like what is going on psychologically in the person who does that. Yeah. Because nobody wakes up today in the morning and is like, I'm not going to give a fuck today and I'm not going to try hard and I'm going to do my worst. You know, like nobody wakes up like that. Yeah. But I think that more often than not, it happens quite often, especially because I work with a lot of the foundations clients. And so it's their first experience working out in a gym. So everything is new. Everything is nerve-wracking. Yeah. And I think that perhaps this like, oh, I'm not going to go heavier. I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to comes from a place of more fear. Fear that maybe they're going to let themselves down or fear that they think that they're letting the coach down by not being able to lift a certain weight or also fear of being uncomfortable. You know, sure. when you give effort in a workout, it's not always very comfortable. It's actually the whole point is being uncomfortable. Getting comfortable, getting out of your comfort zone, feeling your heartbeat a little bit faster than you would maybe normally be used to, and doing those, lifting that dumbbell a little bit longer than you want to, like holding on to the weight longer than you want to, doing those things that, like, I love working out and I love that feeling and I love that you get I feel like you get addicted to that sort of. It's like the pleasure in the discomfort of it and also the satisfaction you feel after. But a lot of new people, I think they have fear of going to that place of discomfort. Yeah. And they have like maybe previous negative experiences related with it. And so they almost like put up a wall, like they block themselves from going there. And that's where the lack of effort comes from. It's like they want to be the person who puts the effort, but they're afraid of how they're going to feel. Like, oh, I don't like getting my heart rate up that high, or I don't like my muscles burning in that way. But when we go there, the satisfaction we feel after of like accomplishing, like doing something really hard and being like, holy shit, I did that. Yeah. Then you start to realize that the effort is not the result, it's the journey. Yeah. But I think it's a fear. I think mostly, I don't think it's a lack of caring. I think it's they're trying to protect themselves. It's like, you know, when I love my relationship analogies. Everybody loved that I called you my green food. I got a lot of messages saying, oh, that you're eggplanting. But anyways, I feel like the relationship analogy in this situation is like, it's like you break up with the person before they can break up with you so that like they can't hurt your feelings. So it's like you come into the workout and you're like, oh, I'm not going to try, like, because I don't care. That way the workout can't break up with you by like making you suffer. You know what I mean? You get the analogy?
Yeah.
You hate me right now.
These analogies are brutal.
I love it.
I'm all for those
The
analogies.
people love my analogies,
Yeah.
so come at me. People message me all the time about my amazing analogies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like people are just trying
You
to...
watch too much reality TV show.
I literally
when
love...
our main audience is like people who have been married for 10 to 20 years at this point.
They're like, we're not dating.
They're
This
like-
is not Tinder. Anyway. Okay, all this to say,
Teen
I
mom
feel
over
like people... I feel like people are just... They protect themselves.
Yes, for sure. There's a psychological barrier or there's a wall.
And I'm
There's
here
a
to
wall
tell
that
you.
there's a wall that they put up because breaking that wall down can be very vulnerable, and it's
Vulnerable is such a
it's
good
not,
word.
Not comfortable being. Yeah, well,
Falling in love.
I don't want to. Oh boy. Just enter like a love song.
Fall in love with CrossFit, guys. Be vulnerable. Show them your vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it. They won't leave you, I promise.
Something that I completely off of this. Back to the main topic here.
What? You don't like my
something that I
analogies?
saw or something that I heard. I can't remember where I heard, but they were talking about when you work out, there's a difference between discomfort and pain.
Okay.
Pain
Yeah.
meaning you have to absolutely stop. You break a bone, you fall, you get hurt. You're doing something that is physically like now going to be at there's going to be a
Detriment.
moment where there's going to be an actual limit because you physically cannot do it. And then discomfort is when your muscles are burning.
Yes.
You're like holding on to something and you're like, man, I'm getting tired. I'm going to have to drop it. But
Yeah.
you can hold it for a little bit longer, little bit
Exactly.
longer. My legs are burning when I'm doing these squats, but I can keep going. It just, do I choose to take a break or do I choose to fight through this discomfort and keep going? Right. And too many times people don't realize the difference between pain and discomfort, right? Not everyone, sorry, I don't want to generalize. A lot of people, especially when we're dealing with a lot of the times we're dealing with people who have never worked out in their life.
Right.
They're 30, 40, sometimes 50 years old, never really worked out in their life, and
True.
they just start this CrossFit journey.
True.
So they haven't experienced this, right? So they're going through these levels of discomfort, not pain, but their body doesn't know that yet.
Right.
Their body is saying, ouch, 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 ouch. This
Your brain
hurts.
is lying to you, basically.
Yeah, like stop. Like this is hurting me, right? But it's like, no, like your muscles are working really, really hard. They're not used to working really, really hard. Or you just start your CrossFit journey and then everyone knows how it feels like, the first few days, the first few weeks, right? You're really sore when you wake up the next day, right? You're not in pain. You're just in discomfort right now, right?
That's
you didn't
true.
break your leg at CrossFit yesterday. It's just your quads your
Worked hard.
quadriceps were really worked
Yep.
and your muscle tissue is broken down right now and it hurts to walk. Right? It hurts to get up from bed right now, but I promise you your muscles are going to get stronger, right? So going back to that, it's like if you have the mindset that whatever today's training brings me, I'm going to give a good effort. I think that is that's the most important thing you could do as an athlete is just bring effort to the gym.
100%.
And effort comes in different ways. It doesn't mean every day I need to PR. Every day I need to perform my best. Effort is when you go up to the coach and you say, hey coach, like I have this, I need some sort of modification, but I want something that's going to still like challenge me, Hey coach, I didn't get a great night's sleep or whatever, my kids have been sick. Is there something that you would encourage me to like try to push on for today?
Focus on, yeah.
If that's something that you don't already see in the workout, right? And the coach is like, well, you're not feeling well, right? And we have this strength and this conditioning piece for today. Well, you know what? Let's try to get some good weight training in today, right? And then just bring a little bit less effort towards
lower the intensity.
Let's lower the intensity, bring a little less effort to the conditioning piece. Let's just get through that piece. But like before we get to that, like let's push hard on the weightlifting side.
Yep.
Right? Because you're feeling okay to lift something heavy, but maybe in like a grueling 12 to 15 minute conditioning piece, your energy levels that's where it's really going to hit you.
Yeah.
Right. So you come in with this mindset of like, I'm going to bring whatever the best effort that I got for today, whether that's in movement, whether that's in encouragement for others, whether that's in weight training or the conditioning piece or a weakness of mine.
Right.
And then you are going to see that your entire training process, the results that you're going to get from your workouts, all those things are going, the peers around you, the encouragement that you're going to start getting from other people, the connections you're going to be making, every element from your training is going to skyrocket if you bring that effort.
Love it.
So that's the tangent for today. And I feel like as from a coaching perspective, like you said, it's hard to describe this, but when you see someone coming in and you see them attacking a part of their training session, going a little bit heavier, pushing a little bit harder on the machine, from a coaching side of things, that gets me freaking fired up.
Yeah, amazing. There's nothing better than coaching athletes who are giving it their best effort.
Yeah.
And I would say almost like 95% of the time I feel like the athletes here are doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's not common that they're not. And usually when they're not, there's room to get them there.
For sure. Yeah.
So I love that. Keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Going to end the podcast with a fun moment because, again, we're doing this in the future and we don't know.
No, we're doing this in the past.
We're doing this in the past for the future.
For the future.
And we don't know who Client of the Week is.
If we were doing this in the future, that would be really impressive.
So we're going to have to hold off
on
the Client of the Week one more week.
But I'll still go pew, 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 pew.
I think a really cool effort that I had in my class recently, and maybe you could think about one. I'm not sure if you have one as well.
Okay, I'll think of one.
But one from one of our lovely listeners that we like to talk a lot about, Caro. So Caroline.
Hi, Caroline. Good morning.
We one of the things we're working on in this 12-week block, because the Open is around the corner, is double unders. So double unders is one of the main priorities. Just try to help athletes get more familiar with the double under, get more double unders, get their first double unders, or even start to be able to link a few double unders.
Hell yeah.
And when we're talking about effort today, Caro, one of her goals is to get double unders. And not that she has been negative towards it, but she's someone that has just leaned towards struggling on them for a long time.
Yeah, they're tough.
And she came in the other week. We had double unders in a workout. It was a evening class. And she came in fired up, knowing that double unders are a weakness. And she's like, I'm getting double unders.
Hell
like, this is going to be my
yes.
thing. And she
she
started the class super energetic. We did our strength component, and then there was double unders in the conditioning component. But before the conditioning component, we went over some double under drills, learning how to properly jump and land and rebound into the next repetition, because there is an actual mechanics of how you, like, not just jump in the air, but then when you jump in the air, how are you going to rebound your jump for the next one? It's really important, because I would actually say that this is where the most flaws happen in a double under, is that someone could jump in the air and spin the rope pretty fast,
but then they can't get the next one.
But they can't get the next one, right?
Got it.
So Caro has kind of been that athlete who has been on that double single journey, right? And people who are good at doing the double under but struggle at understanding the rebound of the jump and when to spin, they do double single forever. They just go double single, double single, double single. And when it's time to practice, right, if we have an AMRAP and we say, guys, like, instead of doing this 30 double unders, take 30 seconds to practice these double unders, a lot of athletes will just automatically go double single. And it's great because you can do a double, but then you get into really bad habits of not knowing how to rebound. And you get really good at doing a double single forever, but then you get stuck there.
Right.
Okay. So Caro came in and we did the drills. She was practicing. She was getting it. And then in the workout, there was, I can't remember how many, I think 50 at the time. And I told the class to take 45 seconds to practice your double unders every time. And Caro did like 5 in a row.
Wow.
She like crushed it. She went
You go, girl.
double, like 5 in a row. And she just had like a really cool energy. But not, when I say cool energy, I mean she had a really good effort towards the day, right? She had a good mindset of, I know the double unders are my weakness. I'm coming in. I'm going to practice them. I'm going to get them, right? Rather than, ugh, I hate double unders. Ugh, I always
They're
get
so
whipped by.
hard.
They're so hard. I'm never going to get them. I'm never going to get the timing, right? She came in and was like, this is it. Like, I'm going to be able to do this, right? And I think that's a great mindset to have, because everything we do in the gym is something that is something that anyone can do, right?
Correct.
And anyone can progress to this. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your fitness background. If you come in with a good effort towards double unders and you practice, eventually you will get your double unders, right? So if there's people listening to this and they're like, God dang, those freaking double unders, they always get me, right? I suck at them, right? Well, do you suck at them, or does your mindset suck towards them, right? Are you bringing a bad effort towards them, right? And she got like 5 in a row, and she was ecstatic. But also during that time, she was encouraging other people. People around her were laughing. But more importantly, people around her wanted, like people who were struggling at getting double unders also were inspired by her.
Yeah, it was infectious.
And they were bringing a positive, like, okay, I can do this, you know. And they were working really hard towards getting their double unders as well. Cool. So that was a really fun memory and moment of someone bringing in a good effort towards a movement that they struggle in.
Very cool.
Did you have something that you wanted to bring?
Sure. When we talk about effort, I have like a memory actually of me working out in a class with Sylvain.
Oh, cool.
So this was like during the holidays, I think.
Nice.
Sylvain and I partnered up for a partner workout.
Oh, cool.
And there was handstand push-ups and toes to bar and rowing in the workout. Mm-hmm. And Sylvain and I have like a great little banter, and we never partnered for a workout before. And these are pretty high skill movements that we're both working on. Yeah. And I feel like he and I, we talked about our strategy before. You know, we had like a good idea going into the workout. So already when you're in a partner workout and you're discussing the strategy, you feel like I really felt like he was like, okay, like, let's go, like, let's do this. Yep. And during the workout, he was really encouraging me. I was really encouraging him. We had great communication. You know, we weren't doing that many handstand push-ups at a time, but we were able to be like, okay, you do 2, no, I'll do 2. Oh, wait, I got 3 in the tank, so I'll do 3. And then, you know, we were really going back and forth. And that was just in my head. It feels like a standout moment of just, we were just both giving what we had to give. It wasn't like, oh, well, you know, there's 10 handstand push-ups, so we're just going to do 5 each, and I'm going to watch you struggle while you're not getting up. It was like, okay, wait, okay, you did 3. Like, I see you're struggling. Like, come down. Like, I'll do another one. Like, rest for a bit. Same on the toes to bar. You know, we were really communicating well and going back and forth. That's cool. And we were hustling. So it was just like, it was just such a fun workout. And I really enjoyed training with him. You know, he was quick transitions on all the cardio machines. Everything was good.
And Sylvain's been working on his handstand push-ups. He's getting a lot better. He's been bringing a lot of effort towards getting better at them, which is cool. And his progressions have been like legit because of that effort. But yeah, a good example of someone that maybe would have the opposite mindset towards that, would think, okay, I suck at handstand push-ups, so yeah, let's just do 5, and then you're just kind of watching this person struggle for 5. There's no real communication.
Exactly.
And then they just kind of, you kind of just go through this, versus, okay, hey, partner, I am working on my handstand push-ups and I'm really trying to get better at them. So maybe the strategy for these 10 handstand push-ups is you do a couple, I try to do 1 or 2, you do a couple, but then, hey, when we get to the cardio machine after, that's something that I could give a little bit harder of an effort, since you're going to be doing maybe 1 or 2 more handstand push-ups. So why don't I like push really, really hard on that cardio machine while you kind of take over a little bit on the handstand push-ups. Yeah. Right. So just to give you guys like practical examples of, okay, well, how would I be in that situation? You can kind of see 2 different situations where you're just watching someone struggling through, and you're like, oh, hey, you got this. And they're like just getting upset and stuff. And they go to the cardio machine and they're kind of like
They're
having
just
to
feeling
go
down.
slow.
Yeah.
They're going down. They're going slower because now they're trying to conserve their energy for the handstand push-ups, right? And then the team is kind of just falling back, right? So versus, hey, exactly what Susie and Sylvain.
Yeah.
And Sylvain had like a really good effort towards those handstand push-ups. And then we know Sylvain likes to give it a good push here.
Yeah,
on,
like
on
I
the
felt
rest
like
of
we
the
were
stuff.
attacking it. I felt like
Yeah.
we were thriving,
Yeah.
and it was fun, and it wasn't a stress. Like I couldn't tell you how many handstand push-ups I was doing versus him. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't about that. It was like together we got to get to 10. Like let's do it.
Yep.
And so it was really fun, and those are some of my favorite workouts when you're partnered with someone, and it doesn't matter if you're not doing the same reps or the same weight or whatever. It's like, are you guys both giving your fucking all?
Yeah.
And we definitely were. And we did really good in that workout.
Let's end it there. That
Love
was a
it.
mic drop.
Mic
Shout
drop.
out to those two athletes for giving us a good memory in their hard efforts. And I hope
Hell yeah.
that you guys get some good value out of this. And I hope it kind of reframes your mind for how you walk into the gym,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how you maybe approach your training sessions. Not every day are you going to feel 100%. Yeah, talking from someone of experience right now, like I rarely come into the gym thinking I'm absolutely just going to PR, smash everything. A lot of my days, I'm just trying to give like the best effort that I have, and I'm trying to find certain points in the workouts or the strength components or my movement that I'm just going to give a good effort for.
And you're killing it. You're doing a great job.
Thanks, babe. And yeah, we'll end it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. We'll catch you in the next one. The next one will be when we are officially back.
I know. Can
in
you guys
Montreal.
believe it? Tommy slept the whole plane ride back too.
All right, we'll see you on the other end, folks. See ya.
Bye.